As the top election official in the highly contested state of Georgia, our next guest found himself thrust into the national spotlight during last year's presidential election. Not only did he oversee a statewide recount, but he got the ire of former President Trump as then president sought to fight the votes needed to overturn his election loss.
And let's bring in now, welcome back to the show, Georgia Secretary of State and the author of the new book, Integrity Counts, Brad Raffensperger. Sir, thank you for being back with us. And look, we're talking about that January 2nd phone call. You're sitting in your kitchen listening to the president. The president is asking you to find, you have an exact number, 11,780 votes. Look, what do you wish at this point you had said to the president in that moment that maybe you didn't say?
I think I did say everything that needed to be said. That's why I wrote the book, to set the record straight. I told President Trump respectfully that he didn't have the votes to win the state of Georgia. I told him that there weren't thousands of dead people. He said 5,000. His surrogates actually said 10,000. There was less than 5. There weren't 66,000 underage voters. There were 0. There weren't thousands of felons. There was less than 74. So my book is fact-based, and it really lays it all out and sets the record straight.
There was something you write in the book. I'm just only going to read a part of it here, that an email came in from someone saying, "We plan for the death of you and your family." Has that kind of stuff quieted down, and how long did it take after the election for that kind of stuff to go away, or has it really?
Most of that has dissipated since right after Easter. Now people are getting back to business, I guess, and really focusing on, how do we win in 2022 as Republicans? And last night, obviously in Virginia, that was a great Republican victory. There's a man that cast a positive vision, parental involvement in their kids' education, and really changing the whole dynamic. And so that's a path forward for Republicans. And obviously, I'll be running for re-election next year. So will our government, all of our governor, and all of our constitutional officers. So we have our path forward on how to win, have an engaging message that's positive, uplifting, that attracts people to what your cause is.
And speaking to your re-election, you're in for a tough primary against an opponent that has already been endorsed by President Trump. You talk about a path forward. What is your path forward? Do you see victory in your future?
I do. My path forward is based on integrity, character, telling the truth, and really laying out the facts. I know that the facts are disappointing for people on our side, but those are the facts. And if you continue to believe that false narrative, then we're going to continue to be disappointed in the results. We have to recognize what the issues were and then move forward from that. But I'll be running hard on the facts. If you look at what we did during COVID, we stood up statewide a 100% verifiable paper ballot system that showed that the votes were accurately counted, that we did not flip votes. We also have joined the electronic registration system so we could update voter rolls objectively. And now we've moved away from signature match to photo ID for absentee ballot. All that's happened under my watch. We've made tremendous improvements in the election process. Meanwhile, we have record registrations and record turnout.
We have to ask you as well, as a Georgia guy, of course, we saw the World Series last night. My co-anchor here, Amy Robach. She's a Georgia girl. I'm an Atlanta guy. You congratulated the Braves last night as well with a tweet saying, "Congrats to the Braves on becoming World Series champs. Let's hope Stacey Abrams accepts the results." Now, I was trying to come up with the right way to ask you about this tweet, and this is what I landed on. Come on, man. Was that necessary?
Well, let's keep it real here, though. When I took office in January 2019, the first thing I had were 9 lawsuits from Stacey Abrams, Fair Count, Fair Fight, and all her allied organizations. And there was a stolen election claim of voter suppression, not based on fact at all. We had record registration, record turnout. Meanwhile, in 2020, it was that conversation about voter fraud. It's really the same argument, stolen election claims, two sides of the same coin. And both of them aren't supported by the facts, aren't supported by truth. And so, yes, she is still not conceded that she lost by 55,000 votes in 2018.
Okay, Mr. Raffensperger, in fairness, she didn't concede, but she also accepted the results. She accepted that Kemp was going to be governor, and she wasn't trying to overturn an election. She was trying to overhaul a system that many people will say in Georgia, in fact, does make it more difficult for black and brown folks to vote in elections. So I see what you're saying, but there are some differences, don't you accept?
Well, I do know that she was in Virginia just a few weeks ago, and she says just because you won doesn't mean you won. So she still hasn't conceded. But I will grant you that the office of president is a much larger office than a governor. We only have one president. It's the most powerful office position that we have in America. I understand that. But she's also said she wants to be president someday. So it is fair to hold her that same high standard of noble, ethical, honest behavior if anyone wants to hold that high office of our land.
Integrity Counts is available now. Secretary Brad Raffensperger, we appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.